Mark Byington and Vanderbilt basketball land their impact guard just now. Let's go.
You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Vandy podcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Corey Burton. Today's episode, we're going to break down new transfer commit from Davidson, Grant Huffman. He's going to bolster Mark Byington's backcourt, and he's going to be a great addition and impact this Vandy basketball team immediately from day one. Mark Byington is hosting a guard from the Ivy League as well, so that'll be interesting how that plays out as we maneuver through this transfer portal season. Also on the football side, Vandy just offered newest portal target, Iowa wide receiver Jacob Bostick. Will break that down. The key word for that one is potential. And then also, lastly, Vandyboys take game one. We'll break down how that happened and how the Bats woke up. Finally, maybe there is some hope for some power. We'll see. But thanks for making Locked On Vandy your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube as a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. I admit it, I have a competitive side, and it is a fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile hit twist on classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store or Google Play. So big time commitment tonight as I record this from Davidson. And it's Davidson guard Grant Huffman. Mark Byington lands another backcourt addition to join MJ Collins. I think you're starting to see this team kind of be constructed a little bit. And also transfer guard from Cornell, Chris Manon is also visiting as well. So some pieces are starting to align. Some things are starting to come together for this Vandy team. And you're starting to see some things kind of really pick up in basketball. One thing that I notice about these transfer targets and commits is the thing that really kind of stands out amongst all of them is toughness, competitiveness, and versatility. Those are three attributes that really stand out to me with all of these, all four of these portal guys. And toughness is probably the main thing because like these guys just have a lot of grit. These guys get after it. These guys have a really attacking style of play just collectively. And I think that kind of fits into what Mark Byington ultimately wants for this team. But before we really break down his game, the tail of the tape here for Grant Huffman, what you're getting just stat-wise, number-wise, is you're getting somebody that served as a team captain. So you have those leadership qualities. He started all 32 games his junior season, averaged 10.3 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1 steal a game in league play. He ranked among the Atlantic 10 leaders in assists. He was 11th. Assist to turnover ratio, he was 3rd. And steals, he was 14th. He scored in double figures 16 times. He handed out at least 4 assists in a contest 16 times. He has poured in 17 points on 7 of 10 shooting at the College of Charleston. Did that on the road. He had 18 points against Northeastern. He had 16. He almost had a double-double against George Mason. They ended up losing that game anyway. And then, of course, he had his personal best 10 assists to go along with 9 points and 4 boards against UMass. So he's a guy that, when you look at what Mark Byington wants to do, and if you watch this James Madison team in the tournament, you kind of see the way they play. It's very attacking style, whether it's full court in transition or even in the half court offense. They're not taking a whole lot of time to circulate the ball around the perimeter trying to find the perfect shot. They're going to drive and they're going to dish, and they're going to either try to get to the line or they're going to hit some open looks because they're going to draw defenders in. And what Grant Huffman does a really good job of is he's somebody that's going to that has a good eye for open looks. He's going to be able to find people. He's going to be able to drive. And he's going to be able to dish the ball. And he's somebody that I think can lead. I think he can be the point man leading these fast breaks. I think he can be the guy that when you get the ball in his hands, he's gonna push, and then he's gonna make the pass at the last minute. He's somebody that I think has really, really good timing, and he's somebody that also I think can drive and finish at the rim a little bit, and he can kind of create some opportunities. Also versatility. He is somebody that can shoot a little bit, and with positionless basketball, it's the big ask that you have of all your players is that they're able to score from different places. They're able to play at different places on the defensive end of the floor and get themselves into different situations. And they are able and willing to run the floor and play a transition style of basketball where you're trying to get run out after run out after run out. You're trying to just wear your opponent down just by simply running. It's kind of like that Nolan Richardson 40 minutes of hell type philosophy where we're going to give you hell on defensive end of the ball and then we're going to take it and we're going to run, right? Or that Jerry Tarkanian running Rebels system that they had at UNLV where they're just off and running and they're creating open looks at the rim just because they're running their opponents ragged up and down the floor in transition, and B, they're creating open looks by driving, dishing, and hitting shots as well. So this is somebody that can help facilitate a lot of that stuff. He seems like it appears that he is an assist guy, and I like this addition because of all of that. He can create. He understands what he needs to do to make this offense go. He understands what the team needs to do to be able to make this thing happen. And so when you watch him play, you see those leadership qualities really kind of come out in him. And so he is he's somebody that's exciting to watch, and he's somebody that I think will be able to facilitate things as we go. And watching his highlights, his first few highlights are him getting the ball at the top of the key, and he's going to drive, right? He's taking the ball to the rack. He's going to try to get to. He's not Steph Curry. He's not going to pull up from just beyond half court and go. He wants to get to the rim, and by doing that, by getting to the rim, it draws in defenders and it opens up looks for other people as well. So, And when you watch him also, like I know that people want big, flashy, fast guys but he's somebody that's just tough, man. He's versatile. He's tough. He just gets it done. He just gets it to the rim and he just goes. He's not overly fast. He's not overly big. He's not overly strong. He's not overly anything. He's just remarkably solid. And that's somebody that you need as a facilitator, as somebody who can compete. And the best thing about this is that you're not gonna ask him to be the guy like he was at Davidson. He's not going to be the sole contributor, which is going to make him even more dangerous because the looks he is going to get, he may get more open looks as a result. He may get more opportunities because there are other guys in the mix like Tyler Nickel who's going to command the ball at the wing or driving down. There is going to be guys that you can feed into the low post that can get it up to the rim. So it's just somebody who's a creator and can either create for himself or help create for other people. And so tremendous vision goes along with that. Leadership qualities go along with all of that. And he is a very, very exciting piece to this Vanderbilt basketball puzzle. Also, visiting Vanderbilt is Cornell guard Chris Manon. He's a 6'5" senior, somebody who's looking for a home, probably shares a lot of the same qualities that our man Grant Huffman has. Tough, versatile, somebody that can play really well at the defensive end of the floor, add a little bit of depth to the guard position because That's what you need in this system. You need a lot of depth at that position because you need to be able to rotate guys in and out because you're going to be up and down the court. You're going to be attack. And he's somebody that can get a lot of steals. He's also very highly intelligent. Also, not only just general intelligence, but basketball IQ as well. I think if you can get two guys like that in the backcourt, you're going to be really, really good as far as being able to orchestrate a lot of what's happening with this positionless basketball. So welcome to Vanderbilt basketball. Grant Huffman, Davidson guard, commits to Mark Byington. This is something that Vandy fans should be excited about. He's a creator. He's somebody that has a lot of leadership qualities. He's going to show this team how to gel. I think that's a very underrated part of what this thing is happening. I fully anticipate, now this is just speculation, just based on my opinion, I fully speculate that you're not going to see a basketball game where it looks like they all just met each other 5 minutes before the game. And so that's very, very exciting to know that there might be a little cohesion within this unit. So very good get from Mark Byington. Grant Huffman, welcome to the squad. So speaking of transfer portal, the transfer portal season rages on, not just for basketball, but for football too. We'll talk about the latest offer there. It's a bit of a surprise, but I think there's a lot of potential. Keyword of the day. We'll talk about it next. All right, Monopoly Go. That's right. I have been told that I'm competitive. I think it's true. I believe it. And, well, yeah, I have a competitive side, right? You should see me on the golf course. It's not pretty. All right, but I do have that competitive side. And my competitive side is a big fan of Monopoly Go. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great twist on Monopoly where you play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. But the best part is messing with my friends. I can charge them rent on my iconic properties just like classic Monopoly. But now I can also heist their vaults of riches for myself. And the leaderboards show me who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and people all around the world in timed tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in on the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go. Download Monopoly Go. It is now free on the App Store or Google Play. All right, welcome back. Segment number 2. Listen, are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN? Are you tired of all the screaming and shouting and the talking down to you? Well, make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So one of the things I think about when I think about this transfer portal season, one of the things I think about, the word that really comes to mind, and I said it before, when you look at their newest offer is potential. Why? Potential. They're eyeing potential. They see potential in this kid. They had to see something because they offered it. He is from Iowa, and he's portal wide receiver Jacob Bostick. He's been offered by Vanderbilt, and he is considering that offer. And if I were him, I would jump on that offer because you're going to the SEC based on absolutely nothing but potential, right? So I know what you're thinking. I know everyone out there is probably thinking the same thing that I was thinking when I first saw this. I was thinking, what? Who? And why Iowa? Why go to an offensive juggernaut, as sarcastically as I can say it, Iowa Hawkeyes, right? This guy's been in the program 2 years, has not played. Well, he's played a little bit, but not registered. He's not registered any stats. Redshirted his freshman year due to injury. He's been beat up. So that's not really fair of me to say. But he's somebody that, when you look at him and you try to justify it with stats, it's not going to happen, right? So don't try that. But what I really like about this is the potential that he has, the athleticism that he has. the potential impact that he can make on this team based on his skill set that he's yet to show in college, mostly due to injury. But again, Iowa's been historically abysmal the last 2 years, his entire time on campus. So it's not like he can really kind of get in the mix because they're going 3 and out, going run, throw to a tight end for 4 yards and punt, right? 3 knees and a punt style offense might as well be, right? It's been like record-setting abysmal offensively. So like you can't base anything from anybody at Iowa based on stats on the offensive side of the ball. You have to go on skills, sets, and potential. I talked in yesterday's episode about the importance of one-on-ones, what the importance is of one-on-ones, because they do serve a purpose. It's not the end-all be-all, but they do serve a purpose. And I'm sure that one of the things that this Vanderbilt coaching staff was drawn to was practice film. Like they trade practice tape within certain reason, right? Like for transfer portal guys, like they will take a practice reel with them, to kind of show, okay, this is what I did in practice. I didn't get a whole lot of game time, but these are the skills that I have, right? Because like you watch the NFL and there's probably a lot of draft picks that you scratch your head about, like how the heck did this guy get drafted? But it's all skill based, right? And production will come. If you're good enough, the production will come. Your time will come on the field. And so I think Jacob Bostick was good enough in his one-on-one reps. He was good enough in his practice reps to show that he has the skills to be able to win, to show that he has the potential to win his one-on-one matchups and be very productive in the SEC for Vanderbilt. And that's why they offered it. Whether or not that will happen, got to see how that plays out, because there's a lot of other variables that come into play when you finally do step on the field that you can't prepare for or predict or project or evaluate just from practice film, because those situations only happen in games. So, or those variables only kick in during game time. So you have to live on potential, and you have to live on the fact that there's a high risk, high reward. Like there's a high risk of this kid could very much be a bust, or high reward of, dang, we snuck this kid out from under the radar, and he is an absolute stud, right? And it could go one of two ways. And a lot of times with players like this, like Jacob Bostick, there's really probably no in between, because guys like that either just stay beat up their entire career and just don't really ever contribute, and some break out of their shell and they really just burst on the scene. They just needed somewhere new to go, which for him, maybe getting out of Iowa is the thing to do. He's been healthy this spring. They were excited about him. They've been excited about him with this new coaching staff, this new regime. So I think it's very, very good. And when you watch his high school film, the thing that jumps out at you, a few things that jump out at you is his best play is buried in his highlight reel. He makes a leaping one-handed catch over somebody in the corner of the end zone. Amazing play, right? It shows you that he has vertical leaping ability. He's explosive, and he has really good hands and really good catch radius and really good concentration. B, contested catches just all over the highlight reel, which goes to show you he's tough, he's competitive, and he's going to win the ball in the air. And he's somebody that will brings a lot of juice to an offense when you got a guy that can do that. Quincy Skinner can do that. Jacob Bostick can also do that. Hasn't done it at the college level, but he showed that he has that ability to do that. He's very explosive. He can run, right? He's very smooth, kind of like Jeremiah Dillon. He just kind of goes, man. He's very sudden, and I like that about him. And so I think the impact that he can make immediately is on special teams in the return game, but I think he's somebody that can be another one of those outside guys, and that can push Quincy Skinner to the slot in a lot of situations and do what Quincy Skinner does best, have those short to intermediate crossing routes or outbreakers that he can catch, break a few tackles, and get some big yardage. And then, with Jeremiah Dillon and Jacob Bostick, who, if he commits, will also add another guy that can get down the field and win a lot of jump balls down the red zone. I think he'll be a really good red zone target because he can win a lot of those jump balls in the air. And I think that's a very underrated attribute that a wide receiver can have, is being able to win in the red zone on corner routes, fade routes, things like that. Be able to get those hands up there and get that thing at the highest point. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. I think he can make an immediate impact. But, again, it's up to his body. If his body cooperates, there's got to be a few things that go right before he can make a positive impact. But, I think he's somebody athletically gifted enough that he certainly has the potential, there's your keyword, to really kind of make this thing happen. And if they sign him, that's much needed depth at the wide receiver position that they sorely needed. And then that's also really good playmaking ability for somebody that is very unproven and has something to prove to a lot of probably naysayers who would probably say, well, you couldn't even get on the field at the most historically abysmal offense in the history of offense. Why do we want you? Well, Vandy wants you, so you should get yourself in the SEC and prove yourself at the next level. If you want to play in the NFL, you go to Vandy. In this situation, you go to the best league because he doesn't have offers from the top dog. So I mean, obviously, if you want to play at the next level, you go to like Georgia, Alabama. But if those offers aren't available, you take the best offer available, which is if you can get into the SEC, you get into the SEC, and that's how you do it. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. I mean, I think Jacob Bostick he's very talented, very gifted. Just got to stay healthy, and I think he can get in the mix and compete very, very much. And so this would, if you add him, this would be a very nice receiving core. And you throw in Junior Sherrill and Richie Hoskins into the mix. And, you've got yourself a pretty solid receiver room that's going to be able to do a few things. That's going to help out a very much struggling offensive line, which, on a side note, Vandy needs to really hit the portal hard for offensive linemen, but that's neither here nor there. So they've got to get on that big time because there's a lot of guys out there that can really kind of make a difference for Vandy, both on the interior and the perimeter. So Jacob Bostick would be a welcome addition to the wide receiver room. He fills a big need for the portal, and also gives you a little bit of explosiveness in that wide receiver room. So that would be very, very interesting. But switching to baseball, Vandyboys take game 1. We're going to tell you how it happened. Stay tuned. Have you ever had a frustrating ticking by experience? Right? Have you had it at an MLB game? I know I have. Well, I'll tell you what. Gametime is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even easier and faster. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. That's right. Prices on Gametime, they actually go down. That's pretty cool. So they have killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guaranteed. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. So, listen, my favorite features are this. I love being able to see the seats from the venue. I love being able to click on a seat and be able to see that virtually. 360 panoramic view. What you're going to see if I buy this seat. I love that. They have all-in pricing as well, so it tells you there's no surprises. That's awesome. They have zone deals, which, hey, if I want to sit in section 222, I can say, hey, I want to sit in section 222. But you're going to pick the seat for me. And Gametime is like, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, thank you for letting us do that. We're going to give you a deal. Right? There's also in-app deals as well. There's exclusive in-app deals on seats ahead of a game. You can get last-minute stuff, so you can save up to 60% off buying last-minute for sports, concerts, comedy, and theater, plus more. They have the lowest price guarantee, where Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. And your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app and create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. It's spelled right there below you. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back. Locked on Vandy. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Everydayers, thank you for being everydayers. We appreciate you and couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate that. And thank you for all that you do in support of this show. So Vandyboys take game one in a much needed win after getting embarrassingly swept the last time you took the field in an SEC contest. You get this one done at home. Again, it's a home game, but it is a much needed way to find some power in your lineup. You get some home runs. You get it turned into a launching pad here for the Commodores. I liked how I was really, and I'm sure the fans that were in attendance were really appreciative of this as well. Lots of home runs hit. Troy, God Lord, I can't say that name. Troy Leneve came through. R.J. Austin came through. Alan Espinal, Davis Diaz. They all crushed the ball in a 10-5 romping of the Florida Gators. Bryce Cunningham got the start, but it is something that you look at and say, okay, well, one of the problems coming into this was that you needed to find more power in the lineup. Well, you constructed your lineup in a way that you did find that power. And you did find guys that could take it yard. You did find guys that could drive the baseball, and they scored 10 runs, and they scored early. They scored often. So, what they've got to now figure out is, okay, how did we get started on this? Okay. And how, what did we do to get started on the right foot? And so one of the things they did, one of the things they always do when they hit well is they have really good plate discipline, and pitch selection is, when they're on, they're relaxed and they're picking good spots for themselves to be successful hitting. Guess what? Guess what they find? They find success hitting the ball. And so it's one of those things where you just have to get that habit of waiting on your pitch, not chasing, not pressing, not feeling like you have to win the game on every swing, but being able to find and sit on your pitch and really kind of just jump on all of the mistakes. So it was really good. It was really good at the plate. Also defensively, Jonathan Vastine at shortstop has been truly amazing this entire season. But he has been he was brilliant tonight on both ends, on both sides of the coin there, offensively at the plate and defensively, getting the last out and making so many different web gems and so many different plays to shut down anything that Florida tried to get going. Florida, they mustered a little bit of a comeback, but it fell short as Vanderbilt just kept making plays. And they made play after play after play. So it's a really good thing to see that Vanderbilt is they're starting to kind of figure some things out. The last big hurdle is trying to figure out how to do all of this not only at home but also on the road. So they get another chance to win the series tomorrow night. They have Carter Holton going for game number 2. But yeah, it's just again, just really good display at the plate. Something that was coming off that Texas A&M series, a lot of you could probably guess that, hey, this is probably not going to be the year for Vandy to win anything of significance because they just can't hit very well. And they can't hit very well consistently. But tonight they did. And they've proven that, A, they're a very streaky team. They got to figure out how to be more consistent with their power numbers and with being able to score runs. And B, their pitching was on tonight. it was on enough to be able to hold off a mid-game rally there by the Gators. And so this game was, very, very interesting. So we'll see kind of how game 2 shakes out. Carter Holton looking to bounce back off after, the whole team had a dreadful performance in College Station, so it's not really fair to single him out. But I think he would tell you that it was a very dreadful experience out there. So he's going to bounce back. The team's going to bounce back. They're going to collect the series tomorrow and then be going for the sweep on Saturday. So very good. Vandyboys take game 1 by a score of 10-5. Lots of the bats are the true hero, and Jonathan Vastine on the defensive end was absolutely brilliant as well. So that's going to do it for us here today. We hope that you have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday. We'll recap the series. We'll keep an eye on the transfer portal and see what happens over hopefully a very busy weekend for Vanderbilt football and for Vanderbilt basketball. Welcome Grant Huffman. There's a few other irons in the fire, but we're going to catch you here. Follow us at Locked On Vandy on all social media platforms, and do us a favor, like and subscribe, and check us out. Keep coming back. But until then, we'll see you next week. And anchor down. Be good.